after having seen that they actually pilot the mechas in Darling in France, thinking that how can they make it even more awkward? How can they make it even more weird and sexualized between the two main characters in particular? So the best thing is that they pilot the mecha, right, by having the female in this weird sexual position, and then the man is controlling the mecha by controlling stuff coming out of the woman's butt, kind of right from the behind, and it's just really, really awkward. And they make a lot of sexual jokes with it, and they make it kind of funny though, in the sense that, well, if you pilot on the mecha like Ichigo did, that's kind of like cheating on your husband. There's a lot of weird like romance and like, you know, swinging trailer and so on, and that's really interesting. But I was thinking that why can Hiro pilot a woman? Is he just bad with females? What is wrong with Hiro, right? I was thinking that I saw an image here, I'll show you shortly here. That really solves here for me. Like, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This art makes a lot of sense. Let me show you here what I mean. This here is some of the promotional art for Darling in France. And when I saw this image, again, after having seen episode 2, this theory, as I mentioned, was really solved for me. So notice here that Hiro is to the left, ZeroTwo is to the right, of course, there, and their mecha is in the middle, right? And all the different partnerships, they have this kind of image, where you have both of the characters, the man and the woman, and then the mecha in the background, right? Again, here, notice that Hiro is to the left, and ZeroTwo is to the right. And have a look at the next image here. We're gonna see that Ichigo is to the left now, and her man is to the right. And here again, the woman is to the left, and man is to the right. And I think you get my point, right? To see this last partner, again, woman to the left, man to the right. Let's go back again to Hiro and ZeroTwo, man to the left, woman to the right. Or is this the actual man? I mean, think about it. ZeroTwo, she is the one. It says she here, in sentence here, is very, very aggressive. She has all the masculine traits, right? She's the dominant one, she's the pushing the one, she's the one controlling his body all the time. Where we have Hiro instead, that can't control any woman. He can't control Naomi, he can't control Ichigo. So he either is a badass man, he can't control that butt, right? Or is it that when you look at episode 1 again, who was the one pulling in Hiro there? Who is the one that's like, come in here boy, I'm in control. What can he remember anything for? Who is the one that's extremely against sexually? Who is the one that is always going for it, right? I think you get my point here. ZeroTwo is by far the one that has the trouser on in the relationship, right? So to speak, she is the one that is in control, that is the one that pushes them in the relationship, that is the one like speaking to Ichigo, this is my darling, don't break my boy, and so on, right there. She is the one that constantly is referring to kind of objectifying, if you want, Hiro right there. And she has, again, all the masculine traits, where Hiro is kind of just along for the ride, right? And as you can't remember it, why is that so? So we know that ZeroTwo's partners, after 3 tries with her, they pretty much die, right? They can't really extend their bodies, they're too exhausted and so on. And who is the one being exhausted in the other right? Well, it's the females, right? When we see that the other teams is a woman that is controlled by the man, it's her body that's like fused with the mecha, and that costs her like life force or energy or whatever, willpower and so on, right? And that makes her weaker. So given that context, isn't it much more likely there's actually kind of the man in that position, right? That ZeroTwo was driving too hard. That's why the man is almost dying. I'm not saying it's always been this case for her and so on, but I do think this will happen eventually though. But it makes a lot of sense to me that it's the man here that is with ZeroTwo that is extremely exhausted. And also why Hiro doesn't have to remember anything, or why they have to pilot it, because she was the one of course in control and he was just being controlled by her. If you look at this scene here with Ichigo, after she has controlled it by herself, she's extremely exhausted, right? And everyone outside is saying, oh, this is so risky, this is very, very high risk for your own life, you shouldn't do this moment, so on, right? That's a very, very unorthodox to do herself and so on. And it's clear that when she is piloting herself in a female position, she gets extremely exhausted, it hurts her body, right? It hurts her life force, as with the man that ZeroTwo was partnering with. So the last point I want to make is that I don't think this will happen, of course, right away. I don't think that Hiro will voluntarily go into the female position, right? He had a lot of problem with this, and ZeroTwo is like gonna force him into it, so on, right? So I think it's gonna be probably a few episodes where he kind of is like, oh, I want to be the pilot, oh, I can be in control. He's like, no, I will be the pilot, right? And they go back and forth, and then probably like halfway through the season, maybe episode 8 to 9 or so, they are gonna do the swap, right? She's gonna be the pilot, he's gonna be the woman, so to speak. she controls his body, and by that notion they're gonna power up, they're gonna beat this really important enemy, right? And after that, he's gonna be in the position where he is the woman. However, though, in the end, it may probably turn out with some kind of perfect synergy of them, where they're both controlling it, both being the man and the woman on the same time. It's some perfect synergy. That's my like complete theory, but I definitely think that she's gonna be the main in control, right? He will take the female position. That's gonna be their like key strength and what makes them unique, and also make them even more awkward, and everyone else gonna bully him and so on, right? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below what you think of my theory and so on. And as a final note, I want to mention that I am really looking forward to all the Futanari on male hentai. It's gonna be out with ZeroTwo going on top of Hiro. It's gonna be great.